Hello everyone, my name is Arma Sufi. I'm from Iran. I'm living in Tehran. Today is 11th of November 2025 and this is my final project for CS50 Cybersecurity, and we are going to talk about what's happened to Microsoft SharePoint. In July 2025, a critical security vulnerability with the CVE number 2025-5317 was discovered in Microsoft SharePoint. This vulnerability could have allowed remote code execution or RCE. If you are not familiar with SharePoint, SharePoint is a Microsoft platform for team collaboration, document management, and enterprise portals. Organizations use it to store and manage documents, workflows, and lists. It's essentially an enterprise documents hub. And about RCE or remote code execution, we can say that it means executing code that an attacker can execute on a server or system without the need for a physical presence on it. And we will tell you how they did it later, but that's exactly where the bad news starts. This incident is rated 9.8, which tells us this is a critical problem. But there is a little good news in these issues, and that is that the flow only affected on-premises servers and not affect cloud versions of SharePoint. And Microsoft quickly released a security patch for the 2016 and 2019 versions of SharePoint that had this flaw. So now both cloud and enterprise SharePoint users are safe. Let's see what happened technically. The technical root of the problem was unsafe deserialization related to VUS state. VUS state is a mechanism in the ASP.NET framework that maintains the state of a page and controls in a portable form. During deserialization, if the data is not validated, an attacker can create malicious data that is executed on the server when it is recreated. And this is how RCE works. Microsoft announced two CVE 2025-53770, which deals with the code execution, and CVE 2025-53771, which deals with the authentication bypass. Together, these two form an attack chain. So, how did the attack chain work? The attacker would first forge the referrer header, an HTTP field that indicates which page the request came from, and send the post request to a management route like this. With this spoofing, SharePoint thought the request came from an internal, secure stream and ignored the login checks. In other words, authentication was bypassed. After bypassing authentication, the attacker uploaded a malicious ASPX file to the layouts folder. This file acted as a web shell, a script that allowed the attacker to execute commands and access files on the server. With the web shell, the attacker could read the configuration files and extract two critical values in a specific. First, validation key, a key for signing data such as VUS state. And in the second, decryption key, a key for decrypting encrypted data. These are the machine keys that ASP.NET uses to sign and decrypt VUS state. Once the attacker has these keys, they can create fully authenticated signed VUS state that when read back on the server, execute malicious payloads. As a result, the attacker gains persistent RCE and can execute any command that an authorized user can execute, or even escalate to other parts of the network. The attacks were quickly exploited in July 2025, with dozens of organizations and more than a dozen SharePoint servers reportedly affected. The important thing is that this attack is server-based. This means that even mechanisms like MFA or SSO used to protect accounts will not prevent this type of intrusions on their own, as the problem lies in the request processing logic on the server itself. This attack is an example of a server-side vulnerability that shows that security is not just about user controls and MFA. Server-side logic and how data is processed, such as view state, are also critical. The best response includes rapid updates, key rotation, detection and removal of a web shell, and an effective incident response plan. And this was my final project for CS50 Cybersecurity. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I would love to hear your feedback.